Good day, Tamers. Hopefully a quick video for you guys today. The producer letter volume 2 dropped earlier today, or maybe late last night, and it just goes over a few things I want to talk about as of the last big thing they did, which was the finals in March. Wife found the Digivoice for me. I've had for like 25 years. So, feeling a little bit more Digi-Destiny today, so let's try and get into this and seeing how it is. Digimon Card Game is essentially the lifeblood of Digimon right now, and I hope Bandai is going to keep supporting Digimon, the card game at least, in a positive light compared to how they've been treating it otherwise. I do feel like at times that Digimon Card Game was more just of like a, we'll just slot this in here just because we need to figure out how to make some money, and then it did well, and then they're like, crap, we gotta figure this out. But nonetheless, Producer Letter Volume 2. Hello all tamers around the world who are enjoying the Digimon card game, aka DCG. Thank you all for your support for the game. In this producer letter, we plan to tell everyone more about the recent Bandai Card Game Fest 24-25 in Japan, the finals. Obviously Bandai has all its stuff in Japan, so it makes sense that obviously the finals will always be in Japan. But it'd be nice if we could do like a Pokemon thing where, you know, we travel around the world. Maybe we'll do like Amsterdam one year. Maybe we'll do like California another year. Maybe we'll do Toronto one year. Maybe we'll do Sao Paulo. You know, move that stuff around. Make it a bit more globally acceptable. Especially now it's a unified release. It'd be nice if you could not just stick to Japan. I say this as somebody who wants to go to Japan, so like, you know. Yeah, I'll go to Japan still. Upcoming new products and the Digimon Elysion, which was revealed at the Digimon Con. Bandai Card Games Fest 2024-2025 in Japan, the finals. Congratulations to the new world top tamer, Duraku. We were impressed by the skillful card playing and overjoyed to see Invisimon in action. Don't lie to us. Don't lie to us. The first tournament after the games environment for each language are aligned are nearly here. Our development team and event team are also working hard to keep this year's exciting, so please be sure to join in. Just for records keeping sakes, it's the 7th of April. We're 2-ish weeks out, like a week and a half out from actually the newest stuff, so we're getting there. Bandai restricted list that we've already seen here. Obviously, our only second banned card now is the mat. The mat that's like, hey man, I didn't do anything wrong. It's like, you've been causing sins and punishment. New band pair, because having access to a 15k blocker on turn 2 is absolutely ridiculous. And then restricted cards, obviously these ones weren't free before. They hit Hammer Spark, it makes sense to hit the other ones. Gravity Crush is currently still available to live rent free, but how long for we don't know. Mirage Galgamon, you got hit at least to a degree. I'd probably prefer this if it was limited, just full out banned, but again, the deck now just doesn't really have a really good top end piece, so it makes the deck kind of unviable, whereas you'll still play it in the engine toolbox, Galaxy Toolbox engine. BT17, Fenrir, people are just playing the old version now, and being like, yeah, whatever. Stops the loop, but the deck that we saw at Worlds is absolutely phenomenal. I've been playing it on stream with Mr. Swiftly. It's pretty dirty, I'm going to say that now. These two got banned basically because the Agunimon's been doing things it shouldn't be doing, and Lobamon was like, look, if we're taking the one out, we'll take the other one out. I still think that Ancient Gurumon isn't a terrible version, because this is just when Digivolving, where the other one is when attacking. So you can kind of just do a rotation thing. It's just the difference between the two decks was that the blue rookies for the hybrids just aren't that good in comparison to the red ones. And so it makes more sense why the red ones are just so more aggressive in that sense. And then Stingmon, which is the draw power printing one, has been limited to 1. Most people in Europe and America were playing this at 1 anyway, so this isn't really a hit to us. This is just a hit to Japan. Whereas a lot of people over here were playing like the memory printing duo, so like it wasn't really a hit to us over here. Here's one of the details, reasons behind our bans restricted list here. Visit the page. I'll put the link in the description, but yeah, it just goes through like what their actual reasonings were. We'll also express our sincerest apologies that it became necessary to add so many cards. I mean, this? No. This is good. Never apologise for having to limit cards because your card game is getting so popular and you're adding new cards constantly. The thing you should be apologising for is the fact that it took 6+ months to get a new list. Like, that's the one thing Digimon needs to work on. That's the one thing that Bandai needs to work on. And that is, at the end of every season or the start of every season, you need to look at doing a new updated list. Because in the card game that you've now announced isn't getting any rotations, please make bans more consistent. Like, even if it's every 4 months, just go, alright, Season 1 starts in March, we do a ban list. Season 2 starts in September, we do a ban list. Final season starts in March, but we do a ban list in like end of June or end of January when all the finals are finished. That would be like your best point, and just do that constantly. Obviously, the issue there is that you then rotate kind of like finals ban list into the new ban list, but like they'll work out the months. It'll be fine. We feel like banning or restricting cards betrays the trust of everyone playing the game, collecting the cards, or who work with us to provide and distribute the cards. After considering the issues carefully with those involved for a while, and asking ourselves what makes the DCG enjoyable to everyone, and who are those interested in starting to play the game with the World Unification, before making the decision. Thank you for your understanding. I mean, I'm going to say this now, like, this deck here, it was like tier 2, like, it wasn't like winning the game. These cards here just enabled some weird janky things, especially the yellow one. Mirage was just that rogue deck that was just doing terrible things, plus it was also in Galaxy. This was just a consistency-ish pile of cards that kind of work sometimes. Would have consistent like top cuts, but never. I think it's won one event in the time it's been out, so whatever. And then the second this starts becoming popular, it gets limited. So I don't even know if this actually won anything as the loop version. So you limited a load of cards, but like I don't know if they were necessarily like crippling the economy. New product information. It's nearly here. Woo woo woo. Yeah. Which will be a week Friday. Creature of Light and Hero of Hope, as well as Booster Pack World Convergence are releasing. Woohoo! Woohoo! Wee! Woo! Is it releasing or is that pre-release week? Because I've got a funny feeling the 18th is the week of the decks, and then that weekend is pre-release weekend for the set. Maybe I'm confused. These two starter decks are themed around the first of the anime Digimon Adventure, and a perfect product for those waiting to start. To be fair, the decks are really good. Like, you only need to buy one of each. £30 gets you into the game. Depending on where you shop, you can also get them for a little bit cheaper. So maybe for like 25 quid, you basically have like a fully working deck. You need to pick up some commons from, or commons and uncommons from the set, so it's like an extra quid maybe. And then, if you want to play that variant, you can also play the ties from BT21, but you don't have to. Like, it doesn't cripple the deck if you don't play it. It just adds a different variety. Yeah, if you're going to say to someone, hey, pick up the game, just like, these are good. As for the Boost Pack World Convergence, it includes cards of protagonists from the various animes over the years and can be summed up as emotional. I'd say nostalgic, but yeah, emotional works. During the planning and development of this product, our thoughts were to provide something even adults who were crazy about the various Digimon series animes when they were children would be crazy. These are really cool. Like, this is cool, but I'd like it if they'd put these as the alt arts instead. I think because obviously it's from the series, like in the newer modern art style or somebody else. So it would have been more like, this is what we're trying to get you to feel like. Do you remember these characters? These were cool. Obviously, we just spoke about the tie a second ago. He kind of makes the deck roll a little bit more, but he's not necessarily like so pivotal it makes it crazy. He's also kind of in charge of the hero deck, but again, yeah, like people are like trying to figure out if the hero deck is actually worth trying to make because it's very blundery. Davis is fantastic. Ducato is finally like the first Ducato from Megidra. This is an interesting card nonetheless. Marcus Damon is usable in a variant of Shine Greymon. It's just, is it a variant that's going to be played much or is needed? Taiki, I've been told, is okay, but a lot of people are like, I'm not too sure on it. Taragoshi, again, I've also been told like he's okay, but people are like, yeah, but I think he's okay. Haru, obviously the first tamer for Atmon, and people are obviously very happy for the Atmon players that he's here. And then Hero is just kind of cool. He's also both colours of like the variants. Like, he's also just a fairly good card. Gotchamon. This booster feels especially commemorative as it also brings Atmon into the game, which we've been wanting to do for a while. I was probably one of those people that said for a long time that Atmon was never going to come to the Digimon card game because it felt like Atmon was like its own side entity. Like, it was never really part of the Digimon brand as such. Obviously being called Atmon. Obviously, apps are just digital pieces of software. It makes sense that they are Digimon. It just didn't make sense that they were part of the Digimon branch, nonetheless. But I'm happy we get more stuff. Digimon's Digimon. Everything is great. I mentioned this during the real stream. I don't know if we're going to see it though. The local rate cards feature section scenes from the Digimon anime, Digimon Adventure. Like I think this is really cool. The thing I thought was really funny because it's not going to be here is there's both a Centurion here, and in the exact same position on the winner's analog youth card, there is also a Centurion from the game there. I just thought it was really strange and funny that they put them both in the same position. Like they couldn't have like mirrored them or anything like that. It was announced the other day during the Digimon Con 2025. Booster Volume 23 is planned to release in October and is titled Hacker's Slumber. Ooh, I actually like the name. More details about this and new products will be steadily released as things progress, so thank you for your patience. We look forward to more details. Now, I will say that the release of the BT21 stuff and ST20 and 21 seemed very sort of out of nowhere. It's like bang, 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 bang. But it also makes sense that they had to basically release like 160 cards in like 60 days. So now that we're obviously going to be slowly traveling into EX9, because it's out in June, I don't really expect to see any more sort of reveals than we've already had until possibly like the beginning of May. But we'll see. Those sets are normally smaller. Digimon Elysian. As well, as was also, I hate that. Also announced, DC, just knock this off. Also announced during Digimon Con 2025, we're finally starting a new project to make the DCG playable as an app. Everyone likes this. Sim is really cool. Please make the sim playable from PC, not just from phone. I don't want to have to like blue jacket whatever it is to my PC to play it on the PC. Just let me play it from the PC. Let me have a PC client. Like a lot of people are asking for like a Switch 2 version of this game. A lot of people are asking for like a PlayStation app for this game or like a PlayStation client. A lot of people are saying like, can I have an Xbox client? So forth and so on. If they want to treat this kind of like Master Duel, which I think there's no reason why they shouldn't. I think they can probably do quite well doing the same kind of model they are, except maybe making it like it's you get digital content and you get physical content at the same time. So that way you actually like some more like MTG Arena. It's been a while since I played like MTG Online, so it's like whatever the online version is. If you can do it like that, where it's like simultaneous release between two things, I think that'd be fantastic. People who can't get to locals can still practice, so when they actually go out to tournaments, they actually have they know decks, and so it's much more better for them. As well as if you're at work or whatever, you just have obviously you have your phone with you. It's like, hey, I've got half an hour for my break. I'll play a game just to try and get it going. I imagine that the app is going to be best of one format though. Of course, we're planning it so that the current Digimon card game players can enjoy using the app, or making it easier to try out the game for those who haven't before. We can finally share with you all the ideas we've been envisioning for about 2 years, which is fine, because I think a lot of people said like 2 years ago, I think somewhat before we knew about the Dragon Ball app, people were asking for this, so that makes perfect sense to me. So it's been on their mind for a long time. And this is where you got to think well, they've actually had some good ideas for Digimon at least in the last few years. Survive obviously didn't do too well outside of Japan as far as I'm aware, but then again, only having Japanese voice actors and not English voice actors in a visual novel where you want to hear people talking, that will ruin things for people who don't speak Japanese. So the extra $20,000 they could have spent on voice acting probably would have been amazing for the game sales. Obviously, here is the video. We went over this before a couple of weeks back. We're going to make the new smartphone app Digimon Elysian a new title that uses Digimon Liberators for the base world feel. And Lasuna. I love the idea of it. It's got a very cool Digimon world vibe to it, where you're going through the different areas. I'm down for that. The only thing that makes me feel like this doesn't make a lot of sense is, I suppose if you go to a different area, in the game files, you play against the NPCs, maybe they have monsters that would be found in that area, similar to how Pokemon does it with their games. But otherwise, unless we start getting field cards where it's oh yes, because you're playing in the desert, all of my rock and mineral monsters get an extra 1,000 DP. you know, it doesn't really make too much sense, but it's still a cool idea. The base game rules are the same as the Digimon card game, but there will be original cards for Digimon Elysian as well, which we think will make the... That's fine. Like, I'm cool with this. Maybe I did just like pull my own hand out here and say there will be field cards, field spells. But like they did with Mastodon, it was like Fire Princess or whatever her name was. I'd be happy if they then at some point made them promos, maybe later date. There is not much more we can say about it now, but we plan to regularly release more information about it, so please watch out for those updates. It would be nice to know roughly how long we're waiting for this game. Will it be out this year? Is it more of like a quarter 2 2026 maybe? So, you know, you're looking for another like 18 months, another 15 months maybe. And then the wrap up. We've mentioned this many times already. From April 2025, Digimon Card Game is celebrating its 5th anniversary. The Japanese release, we got ours in 2021, in January 28th, wasn't that? And it will be the first year of the global unification. In other words, a step into a new chapter for the Digimon card game. We feel that it is thanks to everyone's support that we've made it to this point. So, we'd like to express our deepest gratitude to you all. However, the current Digimon card game is now at the rookie stage and is just stepping out into the battle area. We hope to keep moving forward and keep digivolving the game to champion, ultimate, mega, and beyond. This is a ways in the future yet. I'm presuming this is somebody in Japan. Sorry, this is one of the reasons why I didn't like the Seekers novel. I'm presuming this is either somebody in Japan using auto translation just to try and make it work, or it's someone who speaks the language but doesn't know the written language very well. Because this is a ways away in English. This is a ways away in the future yet, but we already have ideas formed for you for up to the end of next year, which is pretty cool. Which means like BT30 maybe, but on BT23 comes in October, BT24 come out in January, like BT28, BT29. So yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Obviously, a couple of EX sets, a couple of like structure decks as well. We hope to share more with you all about this soon. Also, there's been some rumours and inquiries mainly through social media. So to clarify, at this time, the Digimon card game does not have any plans to use a block icon system. So, if you look at Digimon, like he says here, getting a card out randomly, BT6 had... Okay, can you see? BT6 in the white box there has a block number in it, because at some point there was meant to be a format where you just use cards from the block, which makes a lot of sense if you want to make a block format tournament. We did something like this for like one event for Ultimate Cup. Unfortunately, how the card game works, like how it's been structured upon, like that's really bad, because a lot of support goes like, oh, you want to grab some things from like BT1, you want to grab some things from like BT7, you want to grab some things from like BT15, you want to grab some things from like BT20, and the issue is they're all in different blocks, so it means that there's a lot of decks out there that just go, this deck isn't playable. Besides specifically decks that are built in like one set and go like, oh, you got all your cards here, and you got your next river support in the next set, and they're all in the same block, which means that they all work together, and then so you got like really weird formats. Of course, this may change based on future developments, but in this case, we would be sure to inform everyone that and explain it in details. So, they're saying there's not going to be a rotation format, which is fine, because obviously they just announced for One Piece there will be a rotation format, but they might change their minds down the line. So, we'll keep planning more products and events that everyone can enjoy. Our team is also aiming to deliver the wonderfulness of the Digimon card game to as many players as possible. So thank you to everyone in advance for your cooperation in achieving this. Thank you very much for your continued support of the Digimon card game. The World Unification only applies to products by Bandai, the Digimon card game team. Just a couple of thoughts from written out. The biggest issue we have with Bandai is Bandai is not very good at selling its own products. And so it is down to us basically to go like, hey, do you want to play Digimon? It's a cool game. I'll try and teach you some rules. And as much as I said that Digimon is a very simplified game in terms of like, you know, you only have to learn like 12 or 15 keywords. There's only so many things you have to learn to make the game work. And the nuances in Digimon aren't as bad as other games. We're so far now into a game that you can't just go, here's a deck, play it. Just read the cards. you now have to kind of explain things. You have to explain like how digivolving works. You have to explain how the breeding area works. You have to explain like how delay options work. You have to explain what the tamers are doing. You have to explain like how you attack things. You have to explain. Obviously, we will say something like summoning sickness because people just use that term synonymously with like magic. As we've heard many times on the channel, Catherine calls it downloading because you're not fully into the game yet. Although you can still use main things that let you suspend. So that's why it's not summoning sickness, and they're not artifacts. I just wish like 3 things would happen. And one, there are Bandai stores around the world specifically for Bandai. I would wish that they started supporting Digimon through their stores, so that way that Digimon can actually thrive through their official stores, and that includes Premium Bandai. Number 2, even though they have released some adverts, they're not worldwide adverts. I think they're just mostly for YouTube. And adverts are aimed for nostalgia reasons, which means that you're not really going to get people in their 30s who aren't already interested in it back into the game for the sake of it. I think you do have to aim younger. Like we did a video like over a year ago now that's basically like why card games are dying. It's because you're not really aiming them at children. It's more interesting to get children involved, and then their parents will get involved, and so you're getting two for one kind of thing. And I say this as someone who has children. 13-year-old, he will play, but he's not really interested because they're not super cool. 8-year-old gets bored super quickly, and a 4-year-old can't read. So, that's why some card games are super simplified. C number, do damage. C card, do done. This number bigger than that number. But yeah, I think advertising some degree will go a long way for Bandai. I feel like Bandai just have the capital to do this. I know, again, with their own premium stores, I wish they'd actually sell premium products in their premium stores for Digimon, as well as support Digimon, even if it's like once a month. Hey, first Sunday of every month, Camden Bandai store does a Digimon tournament or whatever, just to get people in, just to say like, hey, look, we'll hold a 32-player tournament or a 64-player tournament, or every third Saturday they'll do a new players thing. It does seem to be like they've only ever really cared about One Piece. I think I have seen product in there for Dragon Ball. I think BSS had some stuff in there at one point, but obviously BSS is now dead. Gundam's probably going to go in its place now in that store, but Digimon has never seen the light of day in terms of good advertising or good support from Bandai. It's generally down to us as the community. That being said though, looking forward to this. We have at least another 18 or so months of support from Bandai, as long as the card game stays fairly well. Obviously, we don't really see what numbers we get over here in the West, but obviously we see what the numbers are over in the East. Digimon is in top 15 still, but obviously not in the top 10. Hopefully we kind of sink our nails in over there. The formats are getting a bit more healthier, and that was the biggest reason why we went from like 4th to like 11th during BT15, because nobody liked that. And it's one of the reasons we got the emergency ban list, where Apocalypse Mon just got absolutely like kicked in the teeth and was like, no, we can't play this because you've literally ruined the card game. But that's it for today. Thank you for being here, guys. Peace out. Goodbye. YouTube stuff. Subscribe, like, comment, and I appreciate your time here, as it's not always easy to find 20-ish minutes of your day to watch a video by a bored guy from the UK. But appreciate it either way. Mwah. Peace out.